what gender do you guys identify as?
Women. Or
Female.
Yeah.
And you guys can stop me if they're too personal. What are common perceptions of gender that you see in media today? Or like in general?
You're looking for the binary scale, or like
Just
women
between
today?
male and female gender.
Men are more like leaders.
Yeah,
and
they
then
say women are more
women-
emotional, which is
Yeah.
not true.
Women are seen as like caretakers. Well, like men are like the hard workers.
Yeah.
Do you think the media's portrayal of gender has changed since you guys?
I think it's
Or
definitely
kids.
changed since when we were younger.
It's definitely a lot more fluid, but
Yeah.
there's definitely still those viewpoints that are very like trying to like stay like kind of conforming, I guess.
There's still those stereotypes of what a woman is and what a man is
Yeah.
supposed to be like.
There's progress to be made, but it's definitely gotten better over the years.
Okay. Do you think that the perceptions of gender that you see in media have affected you personally?
When I was younger, yeah, but now not really.
Definitely younger, yes.
Yeah, I think the older I get, though, the more angry it's like.
More angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I
definitely get
understand.
like more.
Is there one in particular that you can think of that,
like one stereotype or one instant?
or a stereotype or
Like the
instance?
Disney princesses, I'd say, is one big one because
Yeah.
they're all like, a man needs to save me.
Yeah.
But now it's not really like that.
Yeah. When they came out with like, which one? Like Princess Tiana. Like she didn't need no man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was.
Also
That
one of
was-
the first black princesses as well.
Yeah.
so.
And then Frozen. I hated Frozen at first because it was big. Like they didn't really need a man.
It's definitely progressive.
It's refreshing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely,
What gender do you identify as?
I identify as cis male.
Okay. What are common perceptions of gender that you see in media?
When I was younger, I'd always remember like watching old cartoons and seeing like you'd have the stay-at-home mom with like I'm thinking Dexter's Laboratory, like the mom with the washing rubber gloves, for that like kind of signifying like the like not really frail, but like the stay at home, don't do much, like just take care of like the organization and cleaning. But then like the dad is like the businessman going out and like doing things.
Yeah, like the breadwinner.
But I think like now that I'm more of an adult and I watch mostly anime more than like actual like Netflix or live TV. But I think anime also does a pretty good job of like portraying genders differently, because now I see like you can have a strong independent woman be like the businesswoman, and you can have like the stay-at-home dad who's just like a nice chill guy.
Okay. Do you think that the media's portrayal of gender has changed since you were a kid?
Yeah, no, I definitely say that it's changed. I feel like the media is getting a little more open towards, showing things that are a little more out of the regular. Because, I mean, the job of the media is to either intensify, clarify, or aesthetically just, like, enhance their, media productions. So I feel like in our times now, with more gender identities coming along and more people just figuring out who they are, I feel like it's part of the media's job and duty to, give those people the recognition and like the spotlight in the media they deserve, because there's not just man or woman anymore, it's the whole spectrum.
Okay. Do you feel like these messages in the media have affected you personally?
Yeah, I definitely say that they had. I would say that like, especially when I was getting older and I started seeing the new media and like new characters, like it kind of showed me that like I don't have to be like the strong, like unfeeling man, like that I don't have to be like hit a bell with a hammer and just make it ring. Like, I can have my moments where I can be a little more feminine, or I can have like the flow or the grace that comes with it, instead of having to be so hard or rigid, which low-key my family kind of taught me, but helped me break out of it.
Okay. Do you wish that the media portrayed genders differently?
Yes and no. I feel like right now they're doing a good job of like getting a lot of them encompassed, but I also feel like they could also like really play around with it. Like they don't have to stick to what exists in reality. If they wanted to really like, create their own gender for the sake of the media, like I feel like they could do that, and like not as a means of like offending or making fun of, but as a way to be like, hey, it doesn't really matter what it's called, but just like respect the person,
What gender do you identify as?
Male.
What are common perceptions of gender that you see in the media?
In the media, for males, I would say that they're seen as more, I guess, more stronger, more like maybe they care more about status and having money, and pretty much just doing whatever they want, I guess, just making themselves happy, kind of, and going after things that bring them self-worth.
Okay. Do you think the media's portrayal of gender has changed since you were a kid?
I think it has. I think media place more emphasis on doing what you want and not really caring, I guess, and just doing things that bring you more enjoyment and fulfillment, pretty much, no matter what it is.
Okay. Do you think that the perceptions of gender that you see in the media have affected you personally?
I would say personally, I feel like it's changed the way I think about certain genders. I think for certain genders, it's probably affected the way that I think about how genders act. Maybe a little bit. I'm more aware of maybe decision making, but I don't think it's affected my decision making and my personality and how I live and the decisions I make, because I came to a realization that I'm in charge of myself and who I am as a person. So I don't think different genders kind of like dictate who I am.
All right. And do you wish that the media portrayed genders differently? All right, go.
I think for certain genders, it's probably affected the way that I think about how genders act. Maybe a little bit. I'm more aware of maybe decision making, but I don't think it's affected my decision making and my personality and how I live and the decisions I make, because I came to a realization that I'm in charge of myself and who I am as a person. So I don't think different genders kind of like dictate who I am.
All right. And do you wish that the media portrayed genders differently?
I wish there was a little bit. I think I wish media portrayed genders and different roles that they play.
What gender do you identify as?
Male.
What are common perceptions of gender that you see in the media?
Women are like helpless, or like men have to be seen as tough. So like, I mean, I think it's pretty dumb, but like that's how it is. So.
Do you think the media's portrayal of gender has changed since you were a kid?
Definitely. They're definitely trying to have women seen at the forefront of the films and whatnot, or in the media. So it's definitely changed when I was younger.
Do you think that the perception of gender that you see in the media have affected you personally?
No, I think it's really stupid. Why couldn't they just leave it how it was? I think it wouldn't really matter, but that's just how it is now.
Do you wish the media portrayed genders differently?
Nah, I honestly don't care about it. Nah, it's whatever.
What gender do you identify as?
Male.
What are common perceptions of gender that you see in the media?
Well, male are usually perceived as stronger, more in sports and business and cars, and women are perceived as weaker and objects of sex, and they're in more of the makeup and cosmetics commercials.
Do you think the media's portrayal of gender has changed since you were a kid?
It's definitely changed since when I was a kid. You see more women becoming more sports figures. You see them trying to put them in her bigger roles in the movies. So yeah, it's definitely changed.
Do you think that the perceptions of gender that you see in the media have affected you personally?
No.
Do you wish the media portrayed genders differently?
I mean, no. I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. It is what it is.